Alrighty, gamers, and all the players from Leapfrog stream, or raiders from Leapfrog's stream, welcome aboard. We are approaching the 5 p.m. CET mark on this fine Sunday evening, which means the weekly Bounty Hunters FT7 is almost ready for the launch. If it's your first time with us, we are a weekly recurring first to 7 show match event for players of all skill levels and regions. And the name of the game is, of course, Guilty Gear Strive tonight. I'm your usual host, Kyuke, and I'll be talking you through the action tonight in our 7 matches, or perhaps 6, since yours truly had some admittedly lamentable blunders this week with the event management. So we might be skipping our second matchup of the evening. But nonetheless, let's have a look-see at our card for tonight. So the roster does get quite exciting as the evening passes, and honestly, we're starting with relatively exciting matches already in the slot number 1, as we have a double debut match here. First time for both Elisium Bridget from Spain, as well as Daobus Potemkin from Finland. I think the name was pronounced Daobus in, you know, how you would pronounce Finnish names, I think. So don't get thrown off if you're if you're the speaker of the English language. We're going a little bit off script, or perhaps perfectly on script here. Either way, we recently had that Pot versus Prison match on Bounty Hunters. Those characters were piloted by Sweg and Tala, which went absolutely down to the last pixel. So excited to see how these new faces present tonight on screen. The second match is a bit iffy, like I said, since I made a lot of unfortunate slip-ups and mismanaged the communication between the parties, which is slightly unfortunate considering Shivo seems to have lots of misfortune surrounding his Bounty Hunters matches overall. But we'll see, maybe we can still salvage that during the event. The name of the game is, of course, fuck it, we'll do it live here on Bounty Hunters, as per usual. On the third slot, Rilia makes a comeback again, far and wide between, but always convincing, exciting and stellar performance matches coming from her. Her opponent tonight is the third player making their debut this evening, Eden Kai from Albania. Welcome all Kai players, you're always so fun to watch, I swear. On the fourth one, give me a second. Yeah, on the fourth one, Argalia is making their second entry on Bounty Hunters, and this week was looking for specific matchup experience for their match, and as it happens, Will chose to sign up with Ino again this time around for the very first time in a while. Basically back to the character that he was the most known for back in the day, I believe, before, you know, starting to mingle among the numerous DLC characters along the way. Fifth match brings us a rematch, and it's ought to be an explosive one. The first time Blodboen and Maria met on screen on Bounty Hunters, it was very convincingly handled by Blodboen Asuka. Perhaps surprisingly so, considering Nago does have pretty decent ways of sticking, or rather slicing through Asuka's cubes. But since then, I believe the two had some extracurricular training of sorts. I believe they had a big FT5 at one point, which was virtually dead even set. And now we come back and see how the training arc has treated Maria in this matchup. Of course, casual matches are one thing, but we of course know how much the situation can change when you perform at a public event, such as, you know, tourneys or show match events like these. More rare goodness inbound in the matchup slot number 6, as Niamh will be piloting a new character for bounty hunters. Not Faust, not Chaos, certainly not Random, which Niamh is quite known for as well here, but Testament this time. And considering how well Niamh has performed in the bounty hunters random match events, and that I believe Testament is also one of Niamh's better characters, it should be an interesting matchup against Devitt, one of our newest high-level chip talents from France, I believe, on Bounty Hunters. His debut match was nothing short of convincing performance as he took out Asuka. I think it was versus Blodboen. Fairly sure that was the case. I guess I should know these things. But perhaps this time a little more standard, albeit still a very different experience from standard characters in the form of Testament. Testament is of course interesting in the way that Testament does have the DLC 2K, and those K buttons are extremely important for pretty much any character when facing Chip. So I played that matchup a lot myself, and I definitely enjoy it more than Sin for aforementioned reasons. And then we get to the elephant in the room, so to speak. We have perhaps one of the highest level matches so far in the history of Bounty Hunters. Sorani Milia from Greece and Tiger Pop Happy Chaos from the United Kingdom. Both grandmasters of their characters in this region in the slot number 7. And both, without any hint of sarcasm or doubt, capable of claiming championship belts in the pretty much the highest competition in Europe, both online and offline. We don't really have like too many active competitors, active travelers in Europe who go around the world, I guess namely, most importantly, most prominently, North America. Of course, the likes of Leffen, Slash, and Zando are there. They do travel a lot, but I think we've seen the emergence of both Tiger and Sorani taking, names among the NA scene as of recent. I think Tiger attended EVO last year? I'm pretty sure. And both players went to Frosty Faustings at the start of 2024. Both did extremely well as well, too. Which is another testament to their presence as top-level competition. I think we've, as European players, we face quite a bit of scrutiny from time to time from the quotation stronger regions, but, I think the European names have, at this point, proved that we do have some heavy hitters, over the pond as well. In Frosty Faustings, I believe Tiger made it 7th or 8th place, if memory serves correctly, and Sorani was not too far behind. And considering the, level of competition in big majors like that, that is a huge thing. And now we have these absolute butchers, gamists, whatever names you want to put on them, on our humble little grassroots show. It's truly a pleasure. But that's going to be at the end of the evening. We should probably circle back to the first matchup that we're going to watch tonight, the number 1 card. Let me fix it a little. We are going to go to this one. So Elisium and Daobus. Let me shoot both a quick ping to let the players know that it is indeed go time. Get our ID in my paste. That's usually pretty good to have. Alright, Bridget versus Potemkin. If this was Season 2, I would say that characters such as Bridget, who are capable of playing from very far range, can control the screen, have good mobility, would be probably natural predators to big bodies such as Potemkin. Although the meta has been shaken up quite a bit since the start of Season 3. We got, of course, big bodies now empowered with Wild Assault, and Wild Assault itself, even since then, has been buffed quite a bit in the most recent patch. So Wild Assault now travels very far, very fast, gives characters such as Potemkin, Nagoriyuki, Bedman, as well as the big man himself, Godlu, some really interesting tools to battle against characters who would otherwise be very hard to approach. So that said, probably one of the most important tools in this matchup for Potemkin are gonna be flicking perfectly, having the timing for the flicks, as well as use of the White Wild Assault. Big characters like Potemkin can be considered one shot. You get in once, and you can definitely destroy pixie characters such as Bridget with a couple of good counter hit combos. Nice, get a double hit there. One thing against, when you're playing Potemkin as well as when you are playing against Potemkin is, that thing meter! As soon as you have the 50, Potemkin becomes so much more unpredictable, so much harder to defend, and so much more explosive. Generally, the go-to game plan for Potemkins is gonna be walk around a little, perhaps don't take big risks, wait to build like 50 to 100, and then it's full throttle, go in. Which is kind of what Daobus is doing here. Nice, the too heavy, one of the rare anti-airs that can actually anti-air against forward or backwards Mega Fist. It's going to be a very important tool in Bridget's toolkit. A lot of other characters don't want to, pressure Potemkin from certain ranges, from certain frame advantages, because you generally don't have like just the natural tool that destroys those Mega Fists. Bridget is sort of an anomaly in that sense that you can, if you have a good read or if you're sick at reaction, you could unleash that too heavy and just destroy Potemkin out of that. Very far range, good boxes. Now Elisium taking very safe here. Oh, nice, gets a punish there. Very common strategy against Potemkin, just keep neutral jumping. If you see a slide head, then go for the instant air dash, or rather the air dash forward and get the punish. On reaction though, if your feet are on the ground, it's kind of hard to have the timing. But now Daobus with the aforementioned max amount of meter is trying to get close to Elisium, but not able to make proper contact. This is probably one of the reasons why we should call Potemkin one-shot character. You do get your chances, usually at least a couple of times per game, per round. If you can't convert, if you can't make those chances count, it gets very, very difficult very easily. Alright, very well-timed slide head. We're definitely not in quite yet. Oh, goes for the big read. Roger dive, I believe on block is not plus for Bridget, so went for a big DP read there. Bridget is another character who is empowered with that DP. Surely helpful, but can be how to put it, when you have softy characters such as like Chip or Bridget who have access to standard DP, you gotta be very careful how you use it. Whiffing that once and giving the opponent a big counter hit starter can end your rounds extremely fast, as can this tool. This is where it starts. Potemkin Buster, trying to jump out of the White Wild Assault, however that move has so many inbu frames. Daobus abides their time, waits for the opportunity to yellow RC, and then in with more plus frames from the Wild Assault. There was a lot of resources that Daobus had to sort of sacrifice for that window, but I think generally for Potemkin, you would pay any amount of resources to just, wrap up the game. There we go, with the use of the slightly under 50 meter. Goes for the hammer, fall into, here we go again, this time not able to get the Buster out though. One tricky thing that you can definitely, Do we have the punish? No, not quite. Slips to the other side with the kickstart RC. But the position is gonna favor Daobus, and big backdash read into a counter hit close slash. Gotta seal the deal here. 1-1. So it begins. Both players capable of taking heads back and forth. Potemkin really a character that requires you to have patience, and it seems like Daobus is basically going in with the game plan that we discussed earlier, not taking the hugest of risk. Of course, Potemkin is a character that no matter what you do, there is always some amount of risk attached, but at the same time, he is one of the toughest, one of the, you know, most defensively blessed characters in the game, so you can and you do take hits fairly well. In fact, one of the characters who you would argue that health is a big resource. Perhaps the most important part here is that you don't spend your resources until you're ready to spend. Nice. Once again with the instant air dash in. Reach the slide head. Yo-Yo coming back, getting an extra hit. And he's gonna go through the wall. Not massive damage again. That health is a resource for Potemkins. But the less you have of it, the harder it is to make plays, as you generally are taking a little bit of damage trying to work your way in against, you know, zoning characters, unless you just have that wild assault available. Ooh, setting up the tick throw. Half your life gone from one buster and another one. And more importantly, that took half of Elisium's burst away, so no blue burst available for potentially this round. However, the life disadvantage that we were talking about is, it's tough. If you set up the yo-yo and Potemkin is low enough life to just get knocked out by the yo-yo coming back, those are the kind of hits that you're probably looking to take here and there as you're working your way in. So, like, you can definitely sacrifice some amount of life, but you also do have to have a little bit of life to sort of as a buffer or to play with still. All right, it's an interesting way to switch sides. Got punished there still, but you know, out of the corner, it might be worth the investment. The RC combo. Lots of corner carry from Bridget combos, won't be able to recover. Oh, not able to react to that. Mega Fist switches sides. Sorry, not Mega Fist, the, what should we call it? Hammer for RC. Here we go, slip and slide into the close slash, big counter hit, and, you know, having target in the corner, even Potemkin bleeds at least a little when you do take those big close slash counter hits. Speaking of counter hits, landing quite a few, but Elisium not having the resources to convert into a hard knockdown here. Tried to go for a 5P, but be completely evaded by the slide head round start. What's the move here? Holding, got rip trapped by a low. But also no big hit confirmed by Elisium there, so Daobus is gonna be pretty fine with that. Multi-hit jump in here, another tool that definitely making the matchup, having more ammunition for the matchup, as you always want to have something that can, you know, deliver multiple hits against the armor moves of Potemkin if possible. There we go once again. Set up yo-yo aggressively. Even if you absorb that hit with your armor. Also, did I actually put point in Daobus's favor last round? I think Elisium took the previous one, wasn't it? So it should be 3-1, right? Maybe viewers who paid attention can tell me. Pretty sure it's supposed to be 3-1 for Elisium. Right, working the corner. This will be a forced wall break from the heat extend. Lots of damage. Yeah, that's how much Britain basically is gonna bleed for optimal hits. Sliding to the other side. Tried to go for an air throw, but a little late there. Already missed their opportunity. Missing an opportunity to get the buster as well. Elisium with a backdash shimmy. And now a lot of resources coming in for Elisium. This pressure string, as we say, not gonna end anytime soon, and baits the deflect shield as well. Extremely valuable, not only getting the round, but getting the resource out of Daobus as well. The next 2S Very long reach against the passive yo-yo setup. Here we go with the meaty buster. Is 3-1 yet? Yeah, alright. So should be like this, thank you very much. Now, one more hit for Daobus. It's gonna come from 2D. Potemkin is a character that, like, in the older games, he quite didn't have the same presence for neutral. In the older games, much more limited, just very strictly a close-range character. But in Guilty Gear Strive, ooh, but hold that thought, we got a big buster coming in here, and potentially one more read. Is that gonna be it? That's enough. With the low amount of guts and defense, gonna break the back of Bridget's here, and Daobus still in the chase. Don't want to let Elisium run away too early with that lead. But yeah, even though, you know, Potemkin is nowhere near a standard neutral character in Strive, you do have some quite interesting buttons for playing neutral with. 5 heavy 2D, very far-reaching buttons. Oh, here we go once again with the trick. Elisium does have a lot of meter here, but the DP will do nothing against the White Wild Assault read. A lot of the DP characters, or if you are a player of a DP character, you've probably seen this happen before. Your DP is simply going to whiff in the face of White Wild Assault. White Wild Assault just having way too many invo frames. And the invo frames are very delayed as well, so if you're well, I mean, 9-framers are the fastest DPs you can have in the game, which is, of course, the magic number for White Wild Assault startup as well. The first invo frames will come into play during frame number 9. And mixing it up. And just for... could have probably taken it with any hit, but just for the comfort and the reliability. Take the opponent through the wall with a super. Attempting to get the instant air dash punish once again on slide. Head nice backdash shimmy. Those have been working out for Elisium fairly well. How about a hammer fall? Does catch Elisium off guard. Here we go. The 2D out of range though. Pick up his backwards and chasing immediately that backdash. Good read from Daobus. Lacking that crucial 50 meter on the previous pressure sequence, Daobus was probably the reason why they chose to not commit too badly there. But now we have the resources, not just the meter, but also the... Oh, very nice. See the opponent in the air, slow down their frames. Get your ass down on the ground, says Daobus. And we go into even Stevens, 3 points each once again.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Quick startup of, I think that was 5B from Bridget, preventing Daobus from unleashing, I think what kind of looked like Garuda, but blinked and I missed it. Again, the multi-hits will break Daobus out of their armor. However, the will to still press buttons. If you're scared, I'm gonna take advantage of it. This chip damage is massive. Elisium knows, tries to hold on to that FD as much as possible. It is gonna be, oh, what a read. Is that gonna be it? Lots of damage, RC, and another one. Wait, I don't think I've ever seen that sequence before. That's real? All right. I mean, generally the heavy or the heat extent is gonna push your opponent quite far away and break the wall as well. So I think generally that's something that we're accustomed to seeing. Frame trap, close slice. I think that was trying to backdash or jump out and got caught by that. Well, that's one way of taking care of the back Mega Fist as well. Another tool in Bridget's repertoire. Here we go with the backdash once again, baiting out the command grab. And now, is it gonna be enough? Yes, indeed. Daobus, however, smartly holding on to their burst resources, knowing that that burst would be the hero kind. Starting the round with 6B, going under Bridget's high-profile poke. A lot of her best pokes are high-profile, minus, of course, the 2S, which is the rare glimmer of hope for her when you want to try to poke low and poke relatively far away. But of course, it's always a sort of like a liability. You would usually want to try to, you know, keep zoning, keep poking them from really far away. Ooh, with the backdash once again. And the chase, we've seen this from Daobus multiple times. Now Elisium, lots of, remembers the interaction. I was like, I was about to say, you better not go for the DP RC again, because I think Daobus is ready with the White Wild Assault. One more hit, the RC not quite hitting and slowing down Daobus's frames. Oh, that's gonna launch it, that's gonna go into a combo! The last minute able to build the Wild Assault charge just in time for some big anti-air RBS there. You know, that tool has so many interesting usages, not just to skip the neutral part, but perhaps, I mean, invulnerable launching anti-air if the opponent tries to hang around, you know, at the neutral jumping distance far away from you. Wild Assault can definitely help with that, although Potemkin did receive the Heat Tackle tool in the most recent patch, which kind of does fill the same niche as well. If your opponent is trying to, you know, hang around in the dead zone area far away in the air, you can kind of try to hard call them out with a Heat Tackle on block. Or hit, I mean, you will take the hit if you can as well. Go forward, Mega Fist of the Kara type. That's gonna be a punish. This time Elisium gets the 2k. In there, I believe only -7 that forward Mega Fist. Oh wait, was that a hammer fall? Either way. Into the low. We're mixing it up over here. Has full burst as well to make this hard knockdown happen. And now lots of resources coming in, not able to pull off an anti-air there against Daobus' jumping. And Misfortune strikes Elisium using that 50 burst. Oh, the Wild Assault is gonna reach! Now slowly, oh, nice backdash at the perfect timing, able to evade the Buster. It's still not done deed quite yet, 2S. Is it gonna go into a wall break? Yes, indeed, and that's gonna take the round. Once again, bring it even for each. Ooh, we're going neck to neck here, right from the get-go. I mean, I did reference that Sweg versus Tala match, which also went completely down to the wire, so, you know, that's, I guess a showcase of how, you know, White Wild Assault has kind of equalize the playing ground nowadays against, you know, when it comes to keep away characters versus big bodies. Alright, set it up again. Big counter jump D. Although drops the combo momentarily, skips past. Oh, lots of interesting things happening. Missing with the red, the golden burst as well. However, Elisium able to make into the meaty spot, get a counter hit, get a wall break, and now Daobus is gonna have his work cut out for him if he wants to make a comeback. No, it's not gonna happen this time around. Make a fist forward, counter hit, and that's gonna be a pickup. Elisium knows, doesn't want to forfeit the position so early to the round yet, so went for the blue burst here. Nice! The instant air dash reaction punish, I assume. Elisium has done it so many times that I want to say that it's probably reactable. Not sure. I've always played characters that have lots of difficulties making that as a reaction punish. But you know, some players are just that goated and can make the hard reach look like reactions from time to time. It also depends on what kind of you know, how fast of a jump and how fast of an instant air dash your character has. Breaking through the armor once again. Using the RC explosion as the second hit to break through. Now hunting for that one more hit. Low into a quick knockdown, sets up the shot. Deflection is not unfortunately gonna do anything this time around. You are fighting against Bridget after all. Which is completely fine, getting pushed even half screen away. Still has a pretty good position for poking Potemkin. High piece coming through. Relatively fast startup for the range of button that Bridget has on her 5B there. Reversal gold burst is gonna serve Elisium well, especially if you get Daobus' burst here. Lots of tension remaining from that exchange. There we go, catches Daobus on the landing. Slightly unfortunate side switch out of the corner, but we still have the meaty. And that's been probably one of the big Achilles heels for Daobus so far. Just maybe not having the patience for the kickstart, the kickstart break mediocre. Here we go, once again, counter hit, rings true. The armor moves have been contested. Break the wall. It is fairly low here, so we're gonna get maximum hits from both Bridget and Roger. Nice time backdash again. Oh, this time though, the RC from Daobus came through fast enough so that there was no armor breaking that, but still at a very unfortunate state of the RC. Elisium gonna grab that round 2 in a row, which will put Elisium at a very precarious position here in FT7, as it turns out. Having 6 points against your opponent, especially when they are nowhere near your points, tends to be a favorable as well as a comfortable position for players of the FT7. Nice insta air dash punish once again. At this point, I think Daobus really has to think very carefully when it comes to, you know, trying to fish hits with the slide heads. It's slightly unfortunate though, but look at that! Ready to counter the white ball assault as well. The textbook dash forward and react with a throw. That was not quite done yet here. Although we are kind of low on meter. Very close to building the 50 though. Speaking of the 50, Elisium gonna bring one of their own. Force Daobus into a minus situation, and now forcing Daobus into, the set point position as well. Or rather, the other way around, putting herself in the set point position here, Elisium. Got a little unclean hit there, not able to confirm properly. Active yo-yo preventing Daobus from fighting out of the corner. 50 meter has been achieved. What are we gonna use that for? Eventually we'll have to make a move. This onslaught has to end. But Daobus staying fairly patient here. 2D lands a knockdown. Waiting for perhaps the DPRC or a backdash, not sure. From the sky comes the command grab. I love this position for Elisium, staying completely outside of the Mega Fist range. Oh, we'll have to FD it. A little bit of health life for Daobus. One hit is gonna seal the deal. The back Mega Fist, tries to go for the armor. However, like we discussed earlier, the armor does not avoid the damage. You are a big boy, you have the life to play with the armor move. However, you have to take it. And at that low health situation, you're gonna take the L, unfortunately. Very even set until the 4-4 point, after which Elisium made some sort of a discovery, some sort of a Heureka, and was able to take 3 in a row and come out of this set victorious 7-4. But really good performance for both our newcomers, and hoping to see these gamers on the screen again in the future. Alrighty, so let me do some checking. I think, as it looks right now, we are probably going to skip this match because of organizational failures. I take all the responsibility, and that would mean we're gonna jump into the Argalia versus Eden matchup next. Alright, we have Eden at the ready. And Argalia should be not too far behind. Ino versus Kai. Surprisingly, I haven't watched this. I can't remember watching this matchup too much, nor do I have the starkest knowledge of the matchup either. Generally, Kai has been pretty okay versus, you know, in the past being the master of all sorts of angles and anti-airs. This was really good buttons to stop Ino for air dashing in. A lot of Ino matchups have changed though from the historical variants on Strive. She did receive a little bit of an overhaul, even though she is in spirit the same character that she always was. A lot of her tools are just a little bit, they work a little bit different, cover perhaps different angles, and I think the sort of the natural flow of your offense, even though it's still a lot about the, you know, the float dashing forward and having to guess whether, you know, is gonna float dash reset you or frame trap you remains the same, but the structure of the stuff that you're gonna get out of that as Ino has changed a little bit. Of course, Kai still extremely good character at neutral. Doesn't necessarily have to take big risks, considering the, you know, the reach and the disjoints and everything. You know, at neutral, a little bit more comitative, if you will. A lot of her options are hard readable. If you take a good guess and you guess what the opponent, you know, is gonna be doing to you, there is always some sort of a very simple hard call out. If you think stroke to big tree is coming, go for a low. The heavier button you can muster, the better. You get some big combos against that, counter hit starters. If you think Ino is gonna dash forward, flow at you, go for you know, Mad Love, stuff like that. You have your anti-airs on point. If you think a float dash reset is coming, you know, mash one of your fastest jabs, be crouching or standing, whatever, you know, works for your character. Ino does have to, you know, take quite big risks when getting to that mixing position that she desires. But on the other hand, a lot of her tools are also tools that sort of force the opponent to take that guess. If you leave a float dash unanswered, on RPS, if you leave Mad Love, you know, on RPS, that's big value for Ino. You can skip a hop into the opponent's guard from very far away and be plus and be ready to mix up after that as well. So she is, I would categorize Ino as kind of like a little bit of the same kind of archetype. Not really archetype, but the flow, the spirit is the same with Anji, in the sense that Anji has to take a lot of risks at neutral, but also forces the opponent to take a lot of risks because of how their game plan sort of revolves at neutral. Now, I wonder if Rilia is at the ready. It is kind of understandable if the... Oh, never mind. We have signs of life, so... We do have Rilia on the way. But luckily, we are at the weekly show where we never run out of smack to talk about when it comes to Guilty Gear. If we run out of stuff to talk about when it comes to Strive, we can always fall back on the Legacy Gear, talk about how characters were in the past, in the Exert days, in the Plus R days. You know, always got something in the back pocket. Let me actually check my stat sheets and check if Rilia has played against Kai already on Bounty Hunters. My gut instinct tells me no. Yeah, it's mostly Chip, Bedman, Mirror's Testament Chip that Rilia has gone through so far. And as for Eden, like we said at the beginning, this will be Eden's quotation debut match, first showing on Bounty Hunters. Albanian Kai player is gonna show what's what. Now, I love very neutral-oriented characters such as Kai. There's a lot of different ways that you can approach matchups. A lot of players tend to be like, oh, just basic footsies, that's boring. Let me see those mix-ups, let me see those hard reads, let me see those big commits. But then there is a school of fighting games, which I guess yours truly represents as well, where simple is very beautiful. And just watching somebody pull up with clean fundamentals, clean spacings, not pressing any buttons other than what is necessary, that kind of stuff really gets me going. And every time I see a Kai player, I'm like, ooh, this is an opportunity to see some good ass Guilty Gear, some good ass basics. Although Kai has some interesting stuff to rely on as well. If you wanna, surprise your opponent, we have lots of things that can get you frame advantage, such as the flip kick when the opponent is electrified. Of course, we always have a way to skip to the opponent's guard in the way of Stun Dipper RC. I wonder if... I think I saw earlier in the chat or in the lobby earlier. There we go. This should be good. Alrighty then, gamers. Second matchup of the evening. Rilia, Eden. We got the footsies mannen in form of the king himself, Kai, and then we got the master, one of the masters of the blender. Not quite the poster child of Set It and Forget It. I guess that title would go to Milia, although not very far behind when it comes to that kind of gameplay as well. Does have to maneuver a little bit more in terms of, there's probably a little bit more RPS options against her Oki, but in return, her stuff, flows really well. Milia has the problem of not being perhaps able to perform the same Oki over and over, but in case of Ino just flows indefinitely, permanently, as long as you keep getting the knockdown. Oh, wait a second, look at that telekinetic too heavy. What did she counter poke? That is one of the buttons of all time. Sometimes you have some really interesting interactions. That button has a lot of counter poke potential. But now, with the back throw, let's see what Eden has in store. Ilya goes for the high jump, a dive out of the corner, the escape Tatsu of Inos, if you will. Waiting for a movement again. Jump into the dive is gonna be the option. Caught by the 5D projectile. Time to set it up. Okay, checking what Eden is doing here. Maybe desiring to get their burst. Both players being very, very careful. Trying to read each other's options. What a nice angle. Just in front of... I think Eden was in the air doing the flip kick, but really found some sort of an angle to actually go through that, land in front of Eden, and get the empty low instead. Wow. All right. So it looks like the connection is a little rough. So this would be Israel to Albania connection. Now that I mentioned, that was also one of my intentions. I was meaning to tell the players to do a connection check, but I think I forgot to do that. So super high rollback. We could try. We could try doing the old-fashioned way, fix, and making one of the players host the lobby instead of me. Because that's been something that has helped quite often in the past in situations where you're kind of expecting to have a decent connection, but for some reason it just doesn't work out on the day of the event. So I think that is the course of action we are gonna take here. So Aurelia is gonna make the room. So hold on for a moment. Adjusting. We of course want to offer the players the best competitive environment, and nobody wants to play fighting games with a lot of variable lag and stuff like that. So we'll do everything we can for facilitating even a nice playing field.
Welcome.
Alright, here's to hoping it's gonna work out a little bit better this time. And I presume, unless the players call otherwise, we will probably roll with the 1-0 score. Of course, it remains to be seen if this actually fixes anything. But here's to hoping. It's one of those matches that I was super excited to watch this week. Would be a big loss indeed if we had to cancel this one due to connection issues. But here we go. Straight into the Stroke the Big Tree. We were talking about the commutative options. We're already seeing quite a few of them. Stroke the Big Tree into Mad Love into a float dash forward. Even when you choose to set up the notes from full screen, depending on who you are playing against, your opponent might have an access to like a long screen, full screen poke or a lunge type of move that can catch you on reaction. And I think in case of Kai, you of course have your Stun Dipper, which will punish from very far away very fast. But usually for that, ooh, very nice 5k, the leg of the king. And again, it's really nice because that button is very fast on recovery as well, fairly fast on startup as well. So a really comfy button to just press and check if Ino wants to, you Stroke the Big Tree and, approach through the floor, if you will. Oh, the movement, bobbing back and forth, finds the hit. It's gonna definitely lead into a wall break. Often enough on a character like, you would love to get a hard knockdown because you wanna keep the mix-ups rolling, so to speak, but sometimes everything doesn't go as it does in the movies. Really with 100 meter. Ooh, very interesting. The FRC option. Launching very high, not getting the hit, unfortunately, and the DP will be able to catch Rilia. It looks like the verdict is that it did not improve things, unfortunately. So it seems like this is deemed unplayable. Okay, but that means that we are moving forward. Show must go on. Next one would be... we're going pretty fast forward. So next one would be HiWill versus Argalia. So let me host a new room. Get the players in.
Network. Welcome.
Get that new code. That in the pins. Change this one as well. Alright, that should be all of the necessary TOing required for now. Oh yeah, let me of course ping the players. Alright, here's to hoping that we haven't advanced too fast with the schedule. It's always a little precarious position when lots of matchups fall through and or have to be skipped, and then it catches players on catches players off guard when they're still expecting to have a couple more minutes to, you know, get a drink. Calm their nerves, lab the sickest combo before the match starts, etc, etc. Alright, we have both players ready to go, so bless are the RNG gods today, for we get to watch more Guilty Gear. Yeah, it is what it is. Sometimes it do be like that. And I take full responsibility again for not prompting the players to make a connection check earlier. It's usually something I do for players that come from I guess outside of the immediate sphere of influence, or are, you know, situated far away from the middle of Europe. Alright, so even though we did not get to see Ino previously, we get to, or in the previous matchup, we get to see it now, and this is gonna be Ino versus Testament. Testament definitely has some good tools versus Ino. For one, your fireballs will sweep the ground, so it's gonna be a little harder for Ino to utilize stuff that approaches on the ground, which is, of course, the case for many fireball characters. It's gonna be a little bit more air that Ino will have to play in this matchup from my experience. Of course, Chemical Love is a nice check to catch the opponent trying to set up something, go for fireball, can even catch whatchamacallit, that feeling when Testament players forget their own moves. Arbiter Sign, that's the one. I always want to call them Exabeasts. Dirty Legacy player. Alright, anyway, HiWill, Argalia. We're gonna go into the third matchup of the evening. Really excited to watch Testament as well. We have decent amount of Testaments considering the... I mean, it's funny, I don't even want to call Testament very rare character, because there are surprisingly decent amount of Testaments available to play versus online. And some decently high levels as well on the on the Celestial floor. Nice teleport out of the corner. Every time you put the Succubus marker on screen, it's a little bit of a RPS situation for your opponent. Am I gonna try to commit and go in, or am I gonna risk Testament just teleporting out of the corner into the mid screen and losing my position? Yeah, combined with the RC, it's gonna catch HiWill's burst. Oh, and a big 2 heavy that should definitely take care of Ino's low health. Speaking of things that then call out, you know, grounded approaches with big rewards, 2 heavy from Testament. If you get a counter hit with that, it has very long lingering active frames as well as a decent reach. Definitely sufficient for sweeping the floor and trying to fish for stroke the victories. Of course, it does have quite a few, you know, recovery frames as well. So if Ino chooses to dash forward at you, ooh, you're in a world of hurt after that. Now baiting Calamity 1. Argalia luckily had the 100 ready to go. Ooh, just dashes under the nodes. The burst, even though baited, does not look like it was the worst kind of thing for Argalia here. Into the frame trap overhead with jump D. We still got this. Finding the good old buttons. Even though Will probably hasn't piloted, you know, in a long time, as far as it turned, or at least what it sounded like when Will sort of described the recent character experience when it comes to Guilty Gear Strive. With up fireball whips, no matter, we can still go into the strike throw. Ooh, I was trying to queue up a wild assault, I think I heard there, but way too much startup for that, especially since the frames were slowed by HiWill's RC. Is it the Ino node on the high node? That was interesting. Argalia still got the jump over that, and now not quite the meter to. Oh, look at that! With a big launch. But Will didn't actually end up getting too much value out of that. Missed the, I think that's Mad Love fast RC shot that produces that amount of, whatchamacallit, momentum. Wasn't able to find the mark, so Argalia taking the first one in their name. Nice, gets a big fat float dash in with a counter hit as well, forcing Argalia to go for a very early burst. Projectiles meeting mid-screen. Oh, nice patience there. Counter books again with the use of 2 heavy. I wonder though how... I think the 2 heavy should theoretically interact pretty well with a lot of Testament's grounded pokes, even the likes of like 2 heavy. 2 heavy, of course, is Testament's one of the most disjointed normal. So depending on the spacing, oh, but look over here. The up fireball is yet another really good tool for sweeping the floor and preventing the Ino player from coming in with stroke the victories and stuff like that. HiWill chose to spend the meter here, use the momentum burst, and keep Argalia in the corner. Projectiles nullifying each other again. This time it's Argalia's time to burst fast. However, Will not ready to give away this mixing position. Nice read there. 6B. They say that arguably because they, you know, made the animation of Mad Love more recognizable now, that you could perhaps react with a 6B if you're just looking for it. However, we are skeptical here on the streets whether that is actually possible, doable. But, you know, when it comes to these mad high-level gamers, I will not deny them the prospect of being able to react to stuff like that. All right, 1-1. That was kind of a good idea. If you see the Chemical Love whiff, you do have some opportunities to try to go for a poke on, you know, recovery frames. Really nice, teleporting past the fireball. Will is still holding onto the burst. Stain applied. Goes actually under 2B. That kind of showcase of how actually low profiling Stroke the Big 3 is during the quotation submerged frames or the low profile frames. At the end of the move, you do sort of emerge from the low profile though, which makes Ino kind of susceptible to even stuff like 6B that you would think, I should just be able to go under that. But spacing and timing is important when it comes to that. And big cash out here, sees that the Ino player, very low health. I'll take the win, go to the next round. Again, within the 2K. The 2K is another, you know, yet another good tool for trying to fish out for Stroke the Big Three. This is a kind of a carrying theme here in terms of, you know, how many good tools Testament has to force Ino to go airborne. Now let's see, does HiWill have time to jump out of the Succubi Super? No, sir. A little too far to be called out by Stroke the Big Three. The throw, looking for one more hit, overhead, a little too early. Once again, the too heavy gets a counter poke, but not that time. I think it did end up trading with 2K here. Testament definitely a user of the DLC 2K. Even though the defensive options for Testament, not the greatest in the world, you do have a very slow reversal super and no meterless reversals whatsoever. You do have an extremely good 2D and an extremely good backdash. You could call those, you know, pretty much DLC backdashes and DLC 2Ks. Yeah, there we go. Testament able to low profile stuff such as, you know, even Kai's S Fireball is kind of a testament to what kind of a move we are talking about here. Into the mix-up, find the frame trap, and through the wall you go once again. Argalia at a very convincing life disadvantage here. However, you do have some resources to spend. Spends it here. Misses with the crow, and oh, that was actually safe. Just dashes into the super, baits it, and now suddenly it looks way more even here. That was not a hard knockdown though. We do have the stay, but it ends up not mattering if you guess wrong. Took the air there. That's one of the downsides of if you choose to jump as Testament player. If you yield that grounded position, you are so much more vulnerable against approaches from Ino. Alright, set up Stain, found the low. Testament jumping strings are some of my favorite in the game for sure. They just feel good. Their instant air dash into jump heavy just feels good, produces a lot of plus frames, and goes into a really nice overhead low mix-up naturally. All right, we're converting. This should go into a wall break if Argalia so desires. No, just ends up blocking or dropping the combo in an advantageous position. Once again, 2 heavy versus 2K. The battle of the ages, the battle of the buttons. Players avoiding each other's projectiles. Here we go. HiWill finds the float dash forward, and the timing on. I thought I saw 6 speed there for a moment, but it might have been too late, and HiWill was already way too deep. So 2-2. Is going to be the score here as we are slowly moving to the mid game. Ooh. First bait here. Now Argalia is going to be looking fairly weak here in the corner. All of their universal resources, their defensive resources used. And now we're just going to rely on the universal mechanics. What? What direction? 5D into the left? That was definitely not where Argalia was. However, speaking of those defensive resources, Will still has quite a lot of those to spend due to how much they were able to build from the pressure earlier. There we go, the 2 heavy massive call out. Will burst immediately. That would have been a lot of damage and a wall breaker, potentially a kill as well. Jump slash, nice conversion. Too bad the up fireball didn't hit there. Got the curse on. Now we're looking for the hit. Oh, the dive prevents the 2K from hitting. It's very common that you try to approach and try to poke with your safest pokes on Testaments, such as like 2K. Curse them and go into 2K fishing. Very, very common kind of situation, which is why HiWill has been going for the float dashes forward and or the YOLO dives from the sky. Any kind of hit is gonna be okay as long as you land something to make the stain go away. as long as you are not stained, Testament's rewards on you are greatly hampered. They are kind of a two-step character after all. Going with the BMB. Stay. Oh, the shot! Being shot back into the corner because of the deflection and the 2K. 2K with it. No matter, just do it again. Is he gonna reach? RC makes it safe. Curse. Nice RPS there with the 6P. 6P is one of the VIP buttons actually to RPS Testament in the corner from the stain loops. And a very nice 2 heavy or 5 heavy was that. Very nice button there on the exit of the teleport. Will taking the lead here again. But yeah, even though the corner, the pop loop is kind of nasty for Testament when you get it going, there is surprisingly a lot of things that you can RPS with it if you know how. And understanding the power of 6P is definitely one of the most prominent things. As you know, this is what Testament wants to do. Poke with the far slash, trigger the stain. Oh, did you trigger it there with the overhead? I think the Arbiter sign actually was too close, so ended up whiffing there during that pressure sequence. Alright, finding the 2K into very nice escape there. Recognizes that setup is not gonna be tight. On the other hand, this is gonna be fairly tight. Just basic float dash, overhead, jump in into big rewards. I guess big rewards as far as Ino can be concerned. She's not the most damaging character by any means. Oh, he's gonna go into the wrong direction. Wait! Huh? What? Why did the projectiles went in the wrong direction? Is it because Argalia stroked there? What is this? I've never seen this before. I was sure that HiWill was facing to the left side with that super. That play Guilty Gear, you see all kinds of weird shit every day. And with the projectile wars, nice control of the note there. Knowing that, you know, Testament's projectiles are gonna be glued to the floor, so if I aim them slightly upwards here, we'll be able to get a nice little snipe. Right, Stain Pop is gonna actually produce way too many plus frames. So many, in fact, that Argalia ends up whiffing the throw-in boost still. Players have spent the nice teleport out of the corner. High jump gets hit very high up in the air, and as a result, Will not able to set up their perfect setup. However, we got the hit, drop them in the corner, go for a reason. Is that gonna be enough? Not quite, but Will was able to build into the 50 burst there, which guaranteed them the hard knockdown, which was the most important thing. Now, this shouldn't face Will probably too much. Oh, well, I guess that works. I was more expecting Will to just jump out of the Succubi, but, you know. Set the projectile. It's gonna explode as a result of colliding with the Succubi, and it's gonna produce a hitbox for a while, which was what Argalia ended up running themselves into. Very interesting. All right, finds the Mad Love on the air-to-air exchange. Immediate burst from Argalia. We go with the overhead once again. And the wall break. No, misses the input perhaps. And now the wall break is in fact gonna go in Argalia's favor. He's gonna stay in as well, so the best situation you could ever be in as Testament. Or one of the best, I suppose. Do it again. Oh, that was actually a 2D there. Even better than 2K. Quick RC, should get the wall break, and wham bam, thank you ma'am. Argalia is gonna need a little bit of oomph here. A little bit more success when it comes to RPS to get back to the even Steven situation. Wow! HiWill was just guiding the node despite the position of Argalia very high, and they got the read right because Argalia tried to jump out of the corner as well. The YOLO dive is gonna be it out of the corner and baiting the the burst as well. Coast to coast, is that gonna wall stick? Yes, indeed. Unfortunately, not having the resources to get the heart knockdown. So now this situation would probably be rather even. Using the 50 meter on the Crow fast RC. That's a really funny trick. You can actually make that a cross up as well, I believe, depending. Alright, pop, break the wall, miss the combo. Uh-oh! That's very dangerous. Missing a 6 heavy in that situation grants HiWill basically a punish. 2P counter poking the 2K. Was not a counter hit, so was not able to get a big pickup. But still scooping Argalia out of the sky. Nice punish on the whiff 2B. You shall not whiff the hand at full screen range, even though it is one of the best in the game. Nice, gets the hit in. So that means that Stain will be nullified. And even better, getting a full combo here. Set it up. High into a low. Once again, into the fray. Gold Burst is the option here. Drift past the Fireball. However, that gives Argalia an option to escape here, which they did take. The Tusk gliding. Stain has been applied. However, HiWill has quite a lot of life here. Pop high. Yeah, that's a good position to burst. Still with the life lead. Let's tag out of that float dash with a 2K. No confirm though. Here we go once again, and this time Will was ready for it, putting themselves in a position where the FRC teleport is not gonna hamper their options, diving down and getting a punish. I think that was actually a punish on the recovery of the teleport as well. So despite that PRC, perfect read for Will. I love that shit when people see an option for the first time and then they're like, all right, I'll be ready for it next time, and then performing the perfect counterplay. Imagine paying attention to what your opponent is doing in fighting games. Crazy, right? Get the overhead, got the wall slump. This is gonna build a little bit extra meter for Argalia. But HiWill can technically afford to do this into an empty throw. Wow, that's gonna seal the deal here. This is one of the hardest hitting sequences. Get the massive super damage, which is kind of like 1/3 of the opponent's life, depending on their defense, and then the wall break damage as well. Right, deflect shield is gonna push that Mad Love far away. However, HiWill is not done with this position quite yet. Dash back in again, past the 2K, past everything that can be coming from the ground. Slump a couple of times. Deflect shield, deflect shield is there on point. Got out of the corner with the use of teleport as well. Now Argalia still able to fight. Pops that into the sky and gets a big combo. Now what's gonna happen here? I think this burst will push Argalia away, and it will just slightly avoid the Succubi as well. A lot of the times in that situation, you might actually have to still block the Succubi as they remain in place quite a long time, but that was a massive value burst for Will for sure. Now trying to avoid getting Stain popped. Very nice, it should expire in a moment here. Very nice place for Will. Definitely worth the danger announcement for not having to take a risk against this curse. Yes, HiWill is playing so well here. Closing in on the kill, 6-2. I wouldn't be surprised if HiWill has played Testament in the past himself. I'm trying to remember if we've seen Will Testament, and I want to say yes. Because it does seem like Will has pretty decent understanding of the Testament's options here. Here we go, a very delayed overhead once again by that jump D from Eno. Madlove completely misses on 2K, really? Is that a thing? And missed the initial grab distance. But luckily, it does have a kind of a follow-up sequence where, you know, it's definitely a knowledge check. Oh, look at that! That picks up the combo! Hallelujah! Wow! Mad love shot! I'm loving it. Alright, hits the projectile, able to get this curse, and is Will gonna burst this time? No, just gonna take the beating this time around. There is still an option to try to burst out, but Will sitting on a lead here and having technically a here we go, the great equalizer. This should put Will at a Yeah, definitely at an advantage. Argalia does have 75 meter ready to go and almost full burst. Oh, Will doing some fancy plays here, trying to get a gold burst as an Oki option. No dice though. Cash it out with the damaging option. Now, unfortunately, this will not inflict stain here, so there is some amount of... Oh, another one? Trying to break the... Oh, no! It didn't do something! Was there a succubus marker? Did Argalia try to teleport there? I think they might have been trying to do possession in place to stall their air momentum, to not have to guard it. What was kind of looked like what was the play there. But unfortunately, getting caught by the projectiles, the double command grab super that produces the projectiles at the end there ends up being the bane of Argalia. I love how the first thing coming out of Will's mouth is, first of all, I am sorry. It was some fun plays to say the least. Alrighty then. Moving on, we have the rematch coming up next. The rematch that we've been waiting for a while. Maria is one of those players who, if she gets beaten very hard, she doesn't let you just, you know, how should we put this? She is not gonna accept it. She's gonna hard even harder, She's gonna hard even harder, I guess. She's gonna hard very hard. She's gonna train very hard and come back and learn the matchup and beat you at your own game, which is kind of what, so the context of the screenshot here, or rather Maria's comment, is I think supposedly the end result of the casual set that Blodboen and Maria played off stream after the previous FT7. And I think Blodboen still ended up taking it, but not by much. So this would be the prelude to our rematch here today. Alright, a little ahead of the schedule. Hopefully players are not going to get too bamboozled by that. But now Maria's time to show what's what. Ready to perhaps far slash through more cubes than previously. Of course, we all know the capability of Blodboen. This would be, I think, the fifth time in a row consecutive games on Bounty Hunters for Blodboen. A very convincing Asuka play at that as well. I think the most prominent feature for Blodboen, not afraid to go in without spells when necessary. And on the other hand, always on the lookout for the Exodia, the what is now known basically as the go-to game plan of Asuka players. Go into test case 3, get the necessary buffs, and then start slinging spells like it was, I don't know, first time or first day in Hogwarts or some shit. Anyway, let's see if Maria can make the comeback, make the revenge match happen successfully.
Mankind knew that they cannot change society. So instead of reflecting on themselves, they blame. Duel 1. Let's rock.
Of course, the key is gonna be getting that one hit. Asuka is a character who kind of has to commit to defensive options rather sooner than later, because you can't really take the onslaught of the opponent for too long. Every single thing on block or hit is gonna reduce from your mana gauge. And that'll put you in much worse position in the future, whereas you probably have to go for a mana recharge before getting to do anything else. And your time is very, very contested on Asuka. you have to manage, you know, not only the spells that you have in your hand, but also your mana situation at a given time. Right, this is where it could all begin. We have an offensive spell, Arpeggio in hand. The gate, as we colloquially call it here. Oh, teleports behind and then gets deflected away. Teleports behind you again. Nothing personal, kid. I think this is one ability that Asuka players will have to have. When you get the bad spells, when you get too many utility spells, how to make the best out of that. That time Blodboen released the DP spell as soon as he drew it. The Maria was unfortunately too far and gets a full punish here. 2S is gonna mana break. So now Asuka's options are slightly hampered. Oh, immediate burst here, baited by Maria. She's going in. And still has blood available as well. Lots of resources. Oh, that's gonna be a kill. Immediate one. Really good here. Maria was able to save as much of that burst resource into the last round as possible. At this range, it's gonna be hard to do much about the cubes. I think you would much rather be at a full screen or mid-screen spacing to have the frames to press, for example, far slash. The cool thing is, if you slash into the cubes, no matter who you are, you can cancel your stuff immediately without hit stop, as if you hit Asuka himself, and the without hit stop is gonna be the magic word. You can go for stuff like far slash 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 really fast, and it's gonna just keep ripping through the cubes and advance you forward. Other characters can do this as well, such as like Sin can go for a P button into Big Driver very fast and just poke Blodboen, poke Asuka from full screen position away. Spending decent amount of blood on this sequence, plus frames. Maria in a killing position, ready to pop the mana shield as well as probably the wall. All right. Already looking completely like a different match from before. Before, Maria was just, I think, completely on the back pedal for the most of the set. Which is understandable if you don't have the matchup knowledge against this character. If you don't know what spells do, if you don't know what your go-to options, counterplays are against any spell, it's kind of like you always look at Asuka's hand and, you know, recognize what spells are available and then try to guess which spell he's gonna use, and then you use the counterplay that you know that is gonna work against that spell. So there's a lot when it comes to not just playing Asuka, but playing against Asuka. The delay here, the deflect shield completely whipping. We do have a teleport in our hand, perhaps for some interesting little mix-ups. Blodboen did go for a little bit of a teleport mix-up earlier as well, but certainly does not want to put himself in the corner. We have two gates in hand. If only we had the mana as well. I guess it's not gonna matter because we got a wall break here. That's the differentiating factor between Sunday Asuka players and the real champions. They know when the kill is available. They don't need to recharge shit if, you know, the good old normals are gonna do the job. Here we go. A quick combo. Able to draw into some decent utility. And now it's gonna flow. Uh-oh, this is gonna be tough for Maria. Reversal super is the option here, which is gonna whiff. Combos. I like the combo into the DP to discard the spell. So a lot of the time, you know, even if that's like your kind of only true reversal option. Oh, is it gonna hit? No, he's gonna be sliced through by the wild assault. Wild assault? Double wild assault? We have the overhead. Nice reaction by Maria, standing up to block it. And 5D tap just enough to finish Maria. Lots of range by that 5D as well for Asuka. 1-1, both players are on the board. The stage is set for an amazing comeback game, or a revenge game rather. Ooh, start with a DP. Yeah, there we go, the far slash slash. You can see that it's just, you can perform it so fast without any hit stop. So depending on your spacing, ooh, nice backdash out of the Screamer. We have one more, completely with an empty hand. the cool thing is you do have like very spell-like normal in the form of 2D for Asuka. It's the sweep that sends like a little projectile forward, hugging the wall, or rather the floor. So if your opponent tries to poke you with anything on the ground, that 2D usually ends up being the winning option against stuff like that. It does put Asuka in the harm's way when it comes to air dashes. However, Nagoriyuki, as we know, does not have those air options available to him. That pressure still going. That's a lot of risk. Got hit in the air, so that's gonna deal extra amount of risk. Next hit, please don't take the counter hit. Oh god, and he survives somehow. The patience to live through the onslaught of Nagoriyuki, and in fact, mount the combat. That risk is almost completely done here, but so are Blodboen's cards still. We can go into a thick throw. Still no cards. Favoring the mana here. Well, let's see now, the empty hand. How is it gonna treat Blodboen? Oh, the very delayed close slash, faking a throw attempt perhaps there. Just walking forward a couple of extra frames, making Blodboen flinch. And yeah, the lack of any spells there definitely ended up being a problem. It's a kind of a line that you have to try to walk between. Is the risk of like, all right, am I gonna forfeit some of my pressure here and recharge my resources, or am I gonna try to go for the broke and get the win immediately? I think we have an auto refresh here in hand, which is one of the Exodia pieces. Oh wait, that's a mana recharge cost down actually. Damn, it's been a while since I looked at the wiki, so I might actually not know all the relevant utility spell icons at this point. And we only have the utility. Gonna shop for more spells. That's gonna be a couple of gates here, so the pressure is not gonna end anytime soon. Also, howdy, Raiders from Guanca stream. Welcome to watching the, I think it's the, wait, what's the slot number? I think this is the third last matchup of the evening, so we are basically on the big boys and girls portion of the show. Go, set up with a throw. What are we gonna recharge? 5D, just a tap and nothing else. Maria with a good read there. Blodboen had to go for a spell recharge if they wanted to have anything to do. And now, perhaps the resources have been slightly mismanaged. It's, again, the line that was walked. Are you gonna recharge, you know, your, what do you call them? Your stuff, or are you gonna try to go for the broke? Nice tech. Weather Wave punish on the mist, too heavy. Trying to look for Blodboen, trying to jump out of the corner. No burning spells very fast. Builds up to the 50 meter and shops for new spells. It's kind of the gameplay loop that we often see from many Asuka players. Asuka is one of the most fastest meter building characters in the game. So you have probably all seen Gobo with, you know, the onslaught of projectiles and then shopping for more spells and then just keeping it going forever. Some teleport in hand here. We're gonna go about this. The mana buff recharge is gonna help Blodboen for sure and make sure that the the mana gauge is not gonna break anytime soon. 2 teleports, just one, still one in hand. Oh gosh, wish I had some spells. Into F-Shiki, I like that! Don't even need to convert that. That was the last hit that Blodboen was hunting for. But that's exactly what I'm saying. One of the premium features of this player. They know when they have the reach, when they can go for it without stopping for, you know, mana recharge or the card repick. Right, early burst here from Maria. However, Asuka is one of those characters who are one of the best characters to burst as, but also one of the best characters to take a burst, because that's gonna kind of throw you at neutral, which is arguably the place where you thrive pretty well. I think that shield is gonna push Asuka away, and Maria did get a 2S whiff punish there, but no relevant hit confirms. Dash forward, throw him into the corner. Spend health to recharge mana. We have a lot of really good spells here. Really good utility as well. Set up the rainbow cube, draw a couple of swords. What direction? Was that a cross-up? That was overhead for sure, but was that from the back? I'm not sure. And I think Maria didn't know either that time. Very deceptive stun frame, trapping into the 6k. Immediate burst for Blodboen. Trying to skip the neutral. Clone goes through surprisingly a lot of projectiles. I think should... I forgot if Clone just straight up defeats all the cubes that could be coming your way. I want to say no. Because you don't see, you know, Nago players skipping the neutral too often with Clone. I think the problem is that cubes just kind of go forward fast, so you tend to get caught from positions where you would love to use like Clone Hukyo very often, even before the Clone goes active. Oh, okay, we're going for it. We're going for it. Someone's gonna die today. Go! And that time it was Blodboen. Nice with a counter hit starter. Deflect shield by Maria. Last bits of her burst resources have been used, so now we'll have to take this corner pressure as it comes without any extra, you know, call for help kind of tools. I think Maria pressed 2S here. Yep, gonna get caught by the Chaos Cube. And now look at this. Blodboen has all the relevant buffs active. This is over. This is the Exodia, as they call it. You can even get kind of like a mini Exodia. You don't necessarily always have to have all the buffs active at once. Of course, the best thing would be to have the auto refill, which draws you cards immediately as you cast them, as well as a couple of mana buffs. I think the most relevant being the mana cost down or the fast mana recharge. I mean, both are pretty good, but optimally, you would have all of those buffs active at the same time, but especially in the newest patch, it's much more difficult, as especially the mana recharge buffs have been cut in duration. But even still, oh nice, able to extend the combo far enough to mana break, and now into the Chaos Cube, which will buy Blodboen a little bit of time to set up here. We don't have any life to recharge from. Oh, someone's gonna die today! Who is it gonna be? Is it Maria? Is it Blodboen? You can only block so many! The mix-up is always Beyblade, low. Is it gonna be a high second hit of DP, or is it gonna bite? I'm staying patient here, trying to check what Blodboen is doing. It's very high blood, so can't commit to any more big plays as Maria here. Super jump gets in the distance. Wow, drifting forward, guesses right on the burst. And now Maria in a very nice position. Spends blood. She still has at least one more special move from where that came from, or perhaps even two. But now with the 5D, gets that overhead hit into RC. Wham bam, thank you ma'am. Wild Assault is gonna skip past all of those cubes from the right start position. Two staffs in hand. It's definitely not the optimal setup of cards. Now pushed into the corner. This time it's gonna be Maria who gets the 5D tap. I can do this shit too. He's gonna go into neutral. However, mana is broken and no relevant spells in hand. 5P is the anti-air. Yeah, you're gonna die. No mana shield to protect you, and without that mana shield, Asuka is even weaker than Chip Zanuff. In fact, way weaker than Chip Zanuff. So we are basically talking about a deadweight character at that point. You take any hit, if there's full resources available for the opponent, you're probably gonna die from most hits. Alright, approaching overhead. This time Maria doesn't stand up to block. Okay, spells in hand still. We got a Screamer and the low. Double Screamer, in fact. Get the low. Wait, does the low spell hit low if you are in the air yourself? I don't actually know. Damn. Damn wizards and their secrets. Plus frame here from Screamer. The air version is a mid, that's good to know. Utility hand draws a Screamer. Yeah, we can finish it with a super as well. It's kind of like, even though you don't have spells in hand that you could cast, the 2D as well as the Chaos Cube with the use of your 50 meter are kind of like spell-like functions that, you know, act as a projectile that can put a stop sign and help you manage your neutral. Nice F Shiki! And converts it as well, had all the necessary cubes. And now Maria, it's fairly high on blood. It's gonna get a little bit back from that too heavy. But as we know, that blood is not gonna recover very fast without you using your heavy or your slash pokes. I'm momentarily running out of mana, but since Maria, it would be quite a risk comboing into the DP, getting rid of it. And again, that's nice adjustment. However, the back turn, is this end? Is this how gonna go? Deflect shield into the Chaos Cube. That's gonna punish! That's one of the go-to, you know, get fucked kind of defensive reads that Blodboen loves to use. The deflect shield is gonna push them far away, and if they are in any sort of recovery, the Chaos Cube super is gonna punish them as well. Even if they are not, then you're gonna be plus out of that Chaos Cube. Overhead spell in hand. In addition to some basic cubes, Maria, however, is on the prowl. Not willing to let Blodboen cast any of that shit. Straight into the Wild Assault RC. That's one way to make the combo work. And the blood pressure is downwards, so that means Maria's march is onwards. Yo! That was a big hit there. Was that a mana shield broken? Yes, it was. Well, no wonder. The 6 heavy in itself does quite a bit of damage already. Oh yeah, has to burst. Has to burst immediately. Yeah, you could see that. I was asking about the cube versus clone interaction. It does seem like the cubes, because you can unleash the cubes and then just block. And if Nagoriyuki goes into Hukyo, it tends to look that you still collide with the cubes, and the clone is not gonna get rid of them, right? Right, once again, pulling it 4 even.
Mankind.
We are approaching the championship rounds here, and the set has been like we expected. Completely different kind of a beast from the previous set. Last time Blodboen went 7-1, absolute domination. This time Maria has learned the matchup, has practiced the blade for 10,000 years, or at least 2 weeks. Oh, pop goes the weasel. The mana shield is off. My dopamine has been unleashed. However, Blodboen with the, oh, I think this is gonna hit though. Yeah, Blodboen was trying to recharge resources there. It's actually gonna do enough damage even through the mana shield. Right, Screamer is gonna prevent. Oh, nice! Slices the cube and then straight into the special move. It's a quite costly maneuver here, gonna cost Maria most of her blood, but oh, don't you dare unleash that DP. I got a lot of these showing for my 2 heavy. Maria trying to work back into a relevant range. Is this gonna whiff unless Blodboen pressed something? Yeah, just gonna take a safe backwards drifting RC. White Wild Assault. One of the best tools in many matchups, especially this one. Chaos Cube. Putting a little bit of a stop sign here. My turn. Oh, that was a very deep dash here. Basically saying, I think Maria is absolutely gonna backdash or jump here. Alright, get a little bit of mana back. Screamer, low spell on hand. F-Shiki, nice, completely nullified by the deflect shield. That is a very, very nice option to play against the tricky overhead setup there. As we all know, you don't have to guess right for the high-low or the left-right if you just get the timing of the deflect shield right. So knowing, I think Maria has been trying to play that deflect shield usually when that setup is coming, so that would already indicate that Maria is aware where that setup can be played, right? 6P against the cubes, immediate Beyblade cancel. That is the power of Nagoriyuki and all characters who can have, you know, pokes into fast, far-reaching special moves. Right, pop goes the shield, goes through the wall, but we do have meter here. Are we gonna go into the cube? Not yet. YRC is what Blodboen ends up spending the first stick of butter. Still not 50 meter ready to go. Deflect shield is gonna nullify that overhead setup from 6 heavy. But now Maria has so much meter. Oh, hello? Did he try to throw there? Second goes into the YRC. Maria slows down the frames, gets the tech. Now both players very dry on meter, but Maria, being Nagoriyuki, it's gonna go straight into the Mario Party minigame. Someone's gonna die today, and it was Blodboen once again. Go -2, however, the cube is too slow to start, and Maria just slices that with a 2S. Uh-oh, big counter hit. That's gonna take all of Blodboen's mana, spend it all, go through the wall, hard knockdown, your shield has got everything. It's going wrong for Blodboen here. Good selection of spells in hand, but not even 50 meters to defend yourself with deflect shield is probably one of the only things that Blodboen can use while recharging their mana. Runs into the 5 heavy of Nagoriyuki's. This is not good. At least we have the mana here. Able to send the cube. Deflect shield once again, but however, is that a multi-hit? I think that glow spell is a multi-hit. Or wait, that's not even that was is that 6K? Is that a multi-hit normal? I'm a little puzzled by that interaction there on the deflect shield. But alright. So Maria arrives to 6 points here. The favor is indeed swinging in favor of our Nagoriyuki player. Looking to avenge herself. Again, the MVP move is the 6P into Beyblade. If you collide with any of the cubes with your 6P, you can go straight in. Nice Screamer, big hitbox preventing Maria from getting anything started. Use the 50 meter, get the wall break. What are we mixing with? You know, Blodboen has different options here. Opts the blade way more safely here. That is a very understandable play. Maria did have quite a lot of meter there. Could have unleashed a reversal. Super was almost ready, almost close to the 100 meter as well, where the Super RC would have been a possible thing as well. Couple of cubes, an overhead spell in hand. Let's see if Maria is gonna let Blodboen use any of that. Patient. As we are, 5K ends up being the situational anti-air here. Stomp them back into the ground. Your mana shield now deceased. 50 meter ready to go. Deflect shield is the option and jumps out of the command grab. Very nice. That was like the first command grab of the set, and Blodboen was already on the same Yomi layer. Drop him. Drop the meteors overhead. We have it under control. And get the hard knockdown as well. Looks so far so good. We have spells. We have everything. Positive bonus. This is where the onslaught, yeah, Maria kinda had to try it. That was one of the cases where you either become a Garfield or you try. And of course, many of us don't want to become a Garfield, right? It's kind of cringe to be a Garfield. Right, 6P touches the cubes once again. Far slash, no hit stop. We're just going through with all of that. That's a lot of mana as well that you spend on nothing as a Asuka player. If you send so many cubes and don't even make them block it, so you don't get the time to recharge. Right, straight into the landslide. Trying to unleash the Screamer prematurely. Perhaps to hard call out Maria trying to special cancel. It really depends on what cards you are holding in your hand in terms of like, if they slice into your initial cube, what are you gonna do after that? And now this is set point Maria. A complete reversal. Well, not complete reversal, but making it, you know, extremely exciting now, showing all the works of her labor, the matchup that she was forced to learn, the hardship that she had to endure. May all be redeemed here in this set as Blodboen whips the DP card once again. Recharges, very aggressive recharge, but gets the mana shield back online. This is not gonna kill yet. However, one more guess. 50 meter, 50 burst. What are you gonna do? Blodboen dashing forward bravely. However, the Cyber Samurai ready to put a stop sign in there. 2S, you're not gonna pass. In fact, you shall not pass at all. And Maria has redeemed herself. After the 7-1 defeat, makes it 7-5 against Blodboen's Asuka. You love to see a good redemption arc, don't you think? All right, next up, two hot matchups still ready to go. Of course, we have that Sorani versus Tiger Pop looming at the end of the evening. But next, we are gonna take a little detour here and play Niamh Testament versus Devitt Chip. Alright, we had some Testament action earlier, and now we're gonna get more of it. Especially from a player that we haven't seen Testament from before. I haven't even seen Niamh play her Testament in any of the online tournaments before either. But supposedly this is one of her better characters, as we, witness during some of those random character select battles that Niamh has participated in the past. Being, of course, self-evaluated as one of the topper tier characters as far as, her ability goes to pilot the character. But this will be the first time that we are gonna see it in action, and it's gonna be super interesting, well, personally for me, because I've played Testament in the past myself, but I think Testament is a fairly okay character against Chip as well, because of how good their K buttons are. I think no character in this game gets to go unchecked. Like, you play against Chip, it's an immediate 2K check. How good is your 2K? How good are your K buttons? Because many characters, if they try to use their S or heavy buttons, no matter how good they are, no matter how far they reach, Chip is that man. Chip will punish you even from full screen with his mobility. So if you wanna, optimize your risk reward, or rather minimize your risk in this matchup, you have to use a lot of K buttons at neutral. Of course, you can't completely ignore the existence of fireballs. When you get a curse in as Testament, that's usually when the fun starts. Oh, speaking of other things that just completely stop the fun. Red Wild Assault, get the stain, not a hard knockdown, and Devitt has a lot of meter here, so there's still a lot of plays left to be played. Lots of boss frames, frame trap into, I think that was a Gara up fireball, so we're seeing some technical stuff coming right from the get-go. Alright, good timing on the bursts, exactly on, ooh, but wait, 5P as an anti-air against the jump 2K? Well, I never. It's definitely a mark of an experienced player and mark of a player who is paying attention what is happening on the screen when you have players who can challenge Chip out of that jump 2K. Takes a lot of presence of mind and reaction times as well. Pop that stain, and that should be a kill, yes indeed. Niamh showing their stuff on the alleged low-tier character that a lot of players have been saying. We initially thought when Testament came out and they got a lot of buff patches, we thought that, Testament is maybe a mid-tier, maybe even a high-tier character. But ever since then, their popularity has kind of plummeted as we've sort of discovered that Testament is a very slow character for the meta of Guilty Gear Strive, especially on Season 3 meta landscape. but none of that makes any difference in Guilty Gear franchise. In these games, the player skill is everything. If you're better than your opponent, it doesn't matter what character. Oh, hello! The hand going into the wrong direction there. Jump 2K from Chip is a very funky tool, as we can see. There we go, the big hand. One of the best anti-airs in the game. Should do the deed if you have the timing right, for sure. 2K check there. Abare from Devitt. Go into the drift forward. Deflect shield not getting too much value, but the super reversal able to catch Devitt out of their instant air dash. Here we go with the instant air dash out of the Hungry Hippos though. 6P once again ready with it. That's another really cool feature. Every single other character that I've played versus Chip other than Testament is having some amount of difficulty 6Ping, especially like, you know, if you play characters like Sin, who you would think has really good 6P, but then against some characters such as like Chip, instant air as Chip heavy, you're like, sometimes it just feels that your anti-air is not doing the job when you're so spoiled by super like strong 6P such as Testament 6P. Oh, we got a burst bait here. Soft wall break with a curse, gets rid of it very fast with the dash in DP. Devitt takes a big risk there going into that sequence without a burst, sorry, without the 50 meter. But hey, sometimes you get a gamble. And sometimes gambling is worth it just to get rid of the stain mark. Here we go, lots of meter, drift forward, from the other side again. And the 6P still gets a hit on landed. Drilling their way into the fortune. The tricky thing about Jump 2K from Chip, I think, is that it's really hard to determine whether Chip is on the left or right side. That's why we often recommend players dash out of it completely instead. So just press your dash button. It doesn't like care which side you're on, but it will move you out of the danger zone. And then you can perhaps, you know, oh, or you can just press your close slash like a fucking boss! Holy! Yeah, forget about what I just said. Just have your timing on point. Wow! Need frame trapping into the up fireball once again, looking pretty strong. Baits the DP, that should be almost a dead Chip. Unfortunate timing on the wall break here. Would have definitely liked to break it with the girls instead. Stain is on, any hit is good. DP dash forward, yes, once again the way for Devitt to get rid of that stain. But the hand doesn't care. Talk to the hand. Testament, don't listen. That hand is so nice in this matchup, especially like the, you know how much Chip players love to do the instant air dash over, perhaps go for like a drive-by jump heavy thing that Chip players just love to use. But the hand just reaches so far and so high that it's one of those tools that are easily used to nullify that strategy altogether. But now, speaking of strategies, Devitt has a lot of meter to spend. Trying to look for the wall break. Slow down their frames, go to the other side. Nice, got rid of the stain here. Good 6P once again and converting it into the red wildness of. However, the 6P is quite the prorated or gravity prorated starter, so won't be able to get a full wall break combo, and as a result, Devitt grasping the momentum, getting the side switch, getting around as well. Ooh, nice check there, 2K. Before the cross-up alpha goes online, backdash. Good read. Now into the safe jump. 2K tick. What's next? Overhead. Immediate burst by Devitt. Plus frames from the up fireball, and again we go into that jump 2K. That jump 2K RPS. Despite the good hits that Niamh has landed once in a while against that jump 2K, I think for the most part, Devitt has gotten very reasonable amount of value out of those. Quite the kill, and 2D counter hit. Are we gonna switch sides? Yes, indeed. And Devitt has, the Bunky Messiah ready to go. Just spend it immediately. Get into the positive bonus. But now, Niamh has so many resources to defend with. Empty throw, that was kind of smart. Too far? Yeah, and the clone was gone already. It would have been good if you got the Calamity 1 hit on the clone, because that would have made Chip, the main body, flinch as well. But since the clone was gone already, there was just nothing to hit at that range. The Calamity 1 completely whiffs. It is what it is with slow supers such as the Calamity 1 being like one of the slowest reversal supers in the game, along with you know, the 360 from Gold Lewis, as well as Elphel's reversal super. Alright, which side? That time Niamh's timing was not quite right. But the reaction to 6P, or perhaps just prediction. I mean, how many Chip players can resist going into the Rekka overhead into RC? One of the most common, you know, ways to force mix-ups. Kind of like So Bad Guy going into Bandit Revolver follow-up RC into a mix-up. It's not like you can, you know, do much about that, especially if you're not a DP character. Unless you have a really good 6P, of course. I mean, generally, I think 6P matches with reversal timing will prevent the overhead Rekka from finding its mark. Alright, interesting. I was about to say, I wonder if Niamh is gonna use the teleport here as a mix-up tool. And setting up the stain once again from fairly safe distance. Jump 2K once again. Niamh able to, at the last second, manage to backdash out of it. 5P, perfect, beautiful.
Duel 3. Let's rock.
Right, Jump 2K is the tool of choice once again. Predicts the Alpha Blade cancel there. 2K comes online. I just love the active game plan, or the active defensive game plan of Niamh's here. Is completely ready to RPS on a lot of those alpha plays, as well as the overhead Rekkas. And when you have that sort of layer of Yomi online, oh, this time not able to find it though. If you have that layer of Yomi online, it kind of forces the Chip player to not do the same autopilot stuff that they always do. And that's kind of the beautiful thing about fighting games. And look at this beautiful damage. I think it's going for a heartbeat, dropping the combo here, but it ends up paying, or it ends up biting Niamh in the ass, unfortunately. It was the big classic question. So my opponent is getting their burst back here, and I have probably a killing combo as well. Am I gonna try to drop it and get the burst, or would they be mad enough to just hold onto it and die with it and become a Garfield? Right, 6P once again preventing Devitt jumping under the corner. Plus frames from the clone. They want to take that. Set jump. Yeah, Devitt not want to take that either. Now the resources remaining after that sequence did favor Devitt. However, the one who found the hit instead was Niamh. Oh, the whip punish, the 2K, or was that 2D whip? Then into your own 2 heavy from Testament. Oda believing in the setup. Now it could be still anybody's game. Both players are relatively close to that 50 meter, and it's going to be extremely relevant here because we know Rekka Super Kara cancel is a thing. Got lots of defensive measures here for Niamh. In fact, I think it was that 50 meter and 50 bursts ended up being so... Oh! Wait, a clash! Oh, I've never seen that clash before, and I think Niamh hasn't either. I think in that situation, when you see the super activate, you probably should have tried to do the clash cancel, because there's just no other things that can happen there. Either you just whip or it's gonna cancel. That's kind of how it goes. But it's hard to be ready for that if you've never seen it before. If you can't, you know, get yourself in the in the same Yomi layer. Backdashes out of the plus frames of the up fireball once again, trying to find a way out. Yeah, we got the downwards alpha. Oh, nice air-to-air, not getting the perfect conversion, but still dropping Devitt into a pressure position. Breaking through the wall and getting another game for her name. Niamh 2 games up on Devitt.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Right, 2K, but I think that was actually like completely max range too far away. I think Testament's 2D should never whiff after 2K, I'm pretty sure. I think it's one of those moves. Here we go, 2K, 2D into a safe jump. Smart choice, because Devitt had so much meter there that the DPRC could have been a thing. Go pop it up and break the wall. Now it's gonna be tricky because Devitt has 100 meters, so you're probably gonna be put on a defensive stance. Yeah, it's exactly what's gonna happen here. But now the situation is kind of reversed. Now it's Niamh who gets to do the drifts forward. It's one of the most classic round start options if you have 50 meter available after a soft hard knock. A soft wall break. Jump heavy hits. Hesitating there. I wonder if was waiting for a burst. Well, no burst is going to be available here. Perhaps no. Drops the combo just before Devitt gets to it. 6P works once again. Get cursed. And now dash blocking into their way to Niamh's guard. He looked initially grim for Devitt. Oh, is Niamh out? Not quite yet. And no 50 meter to break this wall either yet. However, Niamh might perish in this corner. Jumpy! Anti-air! Oh, that's gonna kill! That was such a brilliant play! Going for the air-to-air and then converting there from that jumpy, wasn't it? Not a whole lot of players get to comfortably convert from that. But the position was excellent for Devitt at that time. And now the Crow is singing a completely different tune. Niamh still untouched on this round. Completely charges the up fireball. Doesn't let her charge it the second time. There's the RPS that able to drift out of that. 5 heavy catches the backdash. It's gonna be through the wall, but soft knockdown again. And Niamh 50% available. Not gonna use it yet. Gonna cover for her normal whiff there. Safe jump. Reads the wire. See. And there was a couple of ways that Devitt could have played that situation. Either just go for DPRC and force your turn, or initially be safe on the block and try to wire C. But you know, after the safe jump has been blocked, there's probably not a whole lot of different variations to the defensive game plan of Devitt. So good plays there for Niamh. Finds 2K 2D into a safe jump once again. Keep the pressure going. Was charging a little too much this time. The RPS, of course, is usually, even on no charge, it is gonna be plus a little, but you get more plus frames if you manage to complete the full charge on the up fireball. It is tricky though, because you can do a partial charge that kind of frame traps them, and if you take a counter hit against that, well, you're in for a lot of damage for a Testament combo. Oh, even getting a casual IB in the air for that and landing a little bit earlier. Or rather, a little bit closer. 2D, the fireball misses, but again, look at that! Look at the perfect angle! Looked like it was gonna miss. But the little overhead swing, well, not overhead as in high-low, but the the swing of the side going into the right direction that time. And I mean, Jump 2K kind of shoves your hurt box first into your opponent. So if you're landing basically into your opponent's animation, then yeah, you should be colliding with a button if they had their timing right. Speaking of having your timing right here, Niamh finds a killing combo there. 6 heavy counter hit. Both players were looking for one of their biggest starters. This is a set point for Niamh though, so Devitt will have to approach this very carefully. YRC, get off me. Nice, 2S2 heavy whip. Oh, but misses the combo. And here comes Niamh. And this is a very nasty safe jump setup as well, because it usually ends with a fireball, meaning that you can, you know, immediately RPS your way into the stain as well. Once again, even in the face of defeat, Devitt once again ready to unleash the DP. Oh, does she find a button? No, not this time. Devitt on their last legs, gonna get the wall break. Is this a kill? It shouldn't be. Testament, even though Testament is fairly pixie in their own right. Yeah, getting a cross-up jump slash here. Very tricky. That was exactly what Devitt needed. Still alive here in the face of defeat against all odds. 2-6. Devitt still trying, still fighting with their heart. But so far, Niamh's approach has proved to be extremely hard to counter. Completely whiffing the red wild assault here. Wow! Got the IB there, which means you're gonna land a little bit closer, and that was straight into Testament's throw range. What a Testament performance! I think this has to be one of the flashiest plays, and some of the flashiest counterplay as well in a difficult to execute matchup like Chip. Actively not choosing to evade the jump 2Ks, but approaching them head on. That was some good stuff there. Testament is cool. I can vouch for that. I really hope Testament will get some love in future patches as well. Alrighty, chat room. We have gotten to this point where we have two ridiculous players coming up next. Let me send the players a message and let them know it is indeed go time. Right, so two players who, if you have followed any of the top level competition in the European region, two players that probably don't need any introductions, but you know, if you've been living under a rock, these are some of the, just straight up some of the best players that we see in our region, period. Couple of the few players that do actually travel outside of Europe as well. Like we mentioned in the pre-show, we of course have our Leffens, our Zandos, our Slashes who go abroad very often. Even I guess Verix travels pretty often as well. But among those, there are very few other European names that I can consistently name in, you know, North American tournaments or, you know, any other than European tournaments. And Sorani and Tiger Pop are some of the newer names who've found some very decent success abroad. Both attended Frosty Fasting's 2024, was it January? And I think Tiger Pop placed 7th or 8th? And I think Sorani was very close behind there. And considering the, you know, the level of competition, the massive majors that, you know, one of the biggest majors of the year, placing like so is very decent achievement for sure. In online events, you would of course see these fellas, you know, at the top of the brackets. Anytime that they choose to participate, salty brackets, you see Sorani playing probably top 8, if not the Grand Champion. You see Tiger Pop playing probably top 8, regardless of the character that Tiger Pop is playing. First, Tiger is capable of piloting many characters. I think still at the moment, Happy Chaos is the pick number 1, the strongest one. And now, oh boy, this is gonna be some high-ass Guilty Gear strive. One of the highest ranked set that we've ever had on our humble little show. Of course, these players play against each other a lot, so there's gonna be a layer of familiarity, layers of RPS that are probably skipped because, of course, the players know each other and they know that they are capable of dealing with some of the, you know, lower Yomi layer bullshit. Now, Milia, very fast character, does pose some difficulties for a character like Happy Chaos, who would love to, you know, start their pressure from, you know, mid-screen, full screen, get a couple of shots in, maybe skip a hop into mix-up position, and then run a mix-up uncontested. Happy Chaos' ability to do that has been greatly diminished as of recent with all the nerfs that he now has to use so much more concentration for a lot of the... Oh! A casual burst bait there! And Tiger gets the first round. But yeah, Happy Chaos has to spend so much more concentration now for all of his actions that you can't just stand full screen and zone for free, as we say. As a result, you see much more aggressive kind of Happy Chaos playing developing, as we've seen from Tiger so far already. So often get a shot in, go mix them up, and, you know, try to find a hit, try to survive the mix-up situation with enough resources, then recharge more and repeat. Make it flow. And speaking of making it flow, once this girl Milia gets a hit, oh, she flows. This is the poster girl of Guilty Gear Strive and set play. She would love nothing else than... Oh, nice read there on the Capel! A little slow to come out there. Will leave a very hard to contest hitbox if you do leave it uncontested, but, you know, strong players, they know you have to absolutely do something against those jumps of Milia. Otherwise, you're just gonna get left-righted, she's gonna skip a hop past you and go back to neutral.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
It's very tricky though. If you are holding your gun already, you of course can't block. So in those situations where you're kind of, well, I guess it wouldn't apply in situations like that where you're actually being the one who's getting mixed up. Good IBFD pushing Milia very far away. It's the OG deflect shield that you don't have to use any resources for. Or I guess you're using a little bit for the FD, but, you know, not quite as much as half of your burst gauge. 2P into dash out of the corner. That's what we were talking about earlier. The double shot or the double air dash and the Capel will give Milia some uncontested mobility when it comes to moving in the air. If she gets to be airborne, she's zooming out of the corner extremely fast. The dash 2K, getting the hit in, not the cleanest knockdown. You're of course always looking for the knockdowns that can get you the heavy disc setup. Wait, you only have heavy disc in this game? No, you do have the you do have S disc in Guilty Gear Strive as well. Damn, old players in shambles. Try to drift RC out of that, but the RC didn't start fast enough. And now Tiger is gonna miss their blue wild assault and gonna get, as a result, punished by Winger. Actually gonna do enough damage with a 100-meter switch sides, big starter from that super. Gosh, that was a costly mistake for Tiger there. I wonder if the intent was to combo or to reset. I blinked and I missed it. Both players have acquired their first points, which can be always the most exciting part of the set if you still have your hands sort of shaking, although considering how much of how much these players have competed in the past and in what kind of world arenas, you would have to assume that when they're comfortable in the confines of their own homes, just sitting there playing their favorite game ever, I think you're not gonna be sweating too much, are you? Alright, that is gonna make the kill. Is this a Tiger's chance to redeem his reputation after the DPI incident? Is that the one where it was revealed that Tiger had like ridiculously high DPI on their mouse? I think I saw that on Twitter. I've still also seen some of these combos on Twitter now. Sorani pushing Tiger towards the corner. The FRC low is a really nice time to play that as well as your sort of last mix-up gambit of the round. Like, fast RC into a low is probably not expected to yield too much damage, but the best time to play those is when, you know, you technically have an infinite reward for any hit. Alright, Gold Burst, hard to punish. Yo, get them out of the sky and throw them into the right direction as well. Unfortunately, Tiger doesn't have the 50 meter here to fill his gun. He's gonna get the hard knockdown otherwise. Also, whoa, well, hello. There's some mix-ups there. There's a lot of potential with the Goopa Stomp and, you know, the amount of variability that you can have with when you shoot the gun. I'm gonna be honest, all of the layers of Happy Chaos's mix-up game kind of goes over my head at times, which is kind of understandable if you have one of the top Happy Chaos players in the world showing you some tech. Fairly reasonable that you are not ready to combat all of it. Scapegoat. Oh, that was so smart! Striking into the scapegoat would definitely be a mistake, but you can sort of try to... You can't run past it, but you can run really close to it. And that time, Sorani found exactly at the point where they couldn't pass the throw range on the main body itself. A YRC, really big bounce towards the corner. It's kind of tricky for Tiger. Happy Chaos will have to, without use of, or without having any actual reversal, meterless reversals, will have to find their will have to find their way out of the corner when pressured, basically by using just universal mechanics. Now, you do have quite good normals in the sense that they convert well. If you get a 2P mash, it's always going to convert and you're going to get out of the corner. And his backdash isn't too bad, I guess. And the same thing, if you get to jump out, you can always take your gun out, and that's gonna have some extra layers of, you know, defensive options there to escape. A big hit. Gun is fully loaded. What are we gonna mix up with? Just taking it safe, playing it basic, which is probably the option that you want to go with all of the time if you're expecting your opponent to, you know, use their defensive resources. Nice! Wow! The jump B straight takes out the gun into a very decent combo. There probably was a wall break to be had there. However, the situation looked so, you know, freestyle that sometimes even the best of us drop the combo. Ooh, I wonder, that was a interesting looking jump there. Tiger immediately converting to a side switch. Both players have a lot of resources ready to go. Full burst gauge. Hold this RC and hold this mix-up. Tiger gets the burst off. But will not be able to utilize that 100 meter. I think out of these two characters, Happy Chaos is probably not the one that can just sort of sink meter into your neutral very easily. Like, he has a good tool in the gun, which allows him to sort of quotation skip neutral. But if you just want to, like, make the opponent not do anything at all, seal them off, I think Happy Chaos doesn't have, like, the best tools for that kind of stuff. Unless you, of course, first make the opponent block something. Oh, here we go! Another one! In case the first didn't land! Damn! And that would be very hard to hit confirm as well. I guess the idea was that, you know, even if I use all of my meter here... Oh, hello! Fully charged 5D! Gonna deal pretty decent amount of damage, especially since Tiger didn't have their burst ready to go just yet. To the other side, the anti-air attempt from Tiger misses. Wanna take this mix up, time to get out. Ooh, meets them with the roll into a gunshot. Yes, and with the last bullet, he's still in the chamber. Gonna get a full reload from this. Super. And now, into a big pistol with, yeah, don't need anything else. Just knows that's gonna kill, right? It's gonna go into a wall break. Yep. Keep it simple. Tiger grasping the lead once again. They've been going neck to neck pretty much. And I think especially because they play against each other so much, maybe in casuals, but also in a lot of these big tournaments. They've just, you know, gotten so much experience for each other's characters that we are sort of naturally developing into this. Just playing very, very evenly. No big surprises. You know what you're in for. You know the nasty stuff, this stuff exactly that you're gonna have to block. But on the other hand, it goes for both players. Like, it's not like blocking Milia is any easier. All right, momentum burst into the corner. This is a prime position. You do have some decent amount of resources ready to spend still, after all. But now, ooh, commits to the cross-up, but it rings true. And it doesn't matter if you ended up momentarily self-cornering yourself. Confirm the overhead as well, and we still, oh, interesting. Oh, chose to go for a air backdash out of that jump heavy, but still got the round. Alright, very nice contest there. A lot of the times the RPS, the basic RPS on Happy Chaos is gonna be... Do you think that Happy Chaos is gonna swing into you with good buttons and try to prevent you from running forward? Or alternatively, he's gonna try to run away, perhaps throw a curse ball, which you will actively have to approach. You will actively have to chase if you don't want to get put in that very awkward position where you're not only cursed, but you're facing Happy Chaos at full screen with all of their external or auxiliary resources.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Right, far slash rings 2 from the Rhyme start. Curse is on. And it's the best time for Happy Chaos players, yeah? Converting it into the mix-up, we go into the roll. Left, right, when's the shot gonna come in? Ooh, hello! That was an interesting blunder slash mix-up. Because of course, if you are the one who's whiffing your throw, and then the opponent is gonna be reacting to your throw whiff, then they are gonna get technically punished for that move. We call them funky little setups, right? Alright. Catch with the hair car. Sorani has so much meter to spend here. I'm gonna maintain all of it till the next screen as well. Yeah, I think at this point Tiger is just gonna take the L on this round. Not gonna spend any of their resources that move between the rounds. That is the burst. Alright, shot homes in straight on Sorani's character. A little bit of charge there before the next mix-up, and we're still dropping in the corner. Sorani is getting very close to the full burst bar. Into the mix-up, finds the 5D tap. Perhaps trying to make the burst here. However, as a result, Sorani gets a back throw, and now it might be Tiger who has to use resources to get out. Ah, nice bait there, and that's gonna be a done deal. Oh, I spoke too soon. Only one shot away. Oh no, Tiger has no bullets left. Has to play with their normals here. Sorani will absolutely be looking at the resource gauge of Tiger, so not gonna let Tiger go free at neutral anymore. Yeah. It's one of those things where you know you fucked up so bad. Is your gun is empty and you're like, I would love to gamble just one reload, just one reload, but Tiger knew their opponent is gonna be looking at their resources, and if they try to go for it, they're just gonna die straight up. So the only way was to just try to play with your normals and try to be an honest character for a change. All right, speaking of honest, getting the cross-ups, another one. But a lot of these mix-ups are gonna, especially in Season 3, cost a lot of resources now, which you could see here. Tiger is already out of bullets. The big question, what resource and how much are you gonna try to recharge? You can't always recharge everything. Of course, the best thing would be if you got a hit into a wall break and then use your tension to just refill your gun. Nice combo, by the way, the double super there. So much corner carry for Milia. Yeah, there we go. The RPS that we were talking about. If you don't read the backdash or the curse ball, you can easily end up whipping your normal, get cursed, and then you are basically in the mix with DJ Happy Chaos. Have to block this, gonna be fairly safe. Oh! Should be safe? Or did the Tiger hit some button there? Scapegoat is gonna block Sorani's passage. However, we are melee rage. We are passing that with ease. Set up the... Yo, hello? Was that an accidental super jump there from Sorani? Curse is still applied, so all of those shots are gonna land. However, our chamber is empty, but it still goes for a shimmy! Despite all odds, lesser players would be shaking in their boots. Although, I guess Happy Chaos doesn't have any boots, but either way, would be scared of going in, but Tiger still rely on the fundamentals. Get the shimmy there, bait out the throw and get the win. Who needs resources when you have fundamentals? And the ball slam, get a couple of bullets in the chamber. Sorani staying fairly tight, trying to use FD as much as possible to negate some of that risk build up. I think Tiger did not actually block here. Not the biggest deal, you still have half of your shots, but this is gonna be a bigger deal. However, Sorani does not have the burst necessary to seal out the round just yet. Finds the hit though. And here we go. I think this is the first big moment when either one of these players has been able to pick up some steam. Sorani goes on with a 2-game lead here. So next game coming up for Tiger is gonna be super important. This is the kind of point in FT7 sets where the next game makes or breaks it. If Tiger gets it, you're still on the chase. It's still like pretty comfortable situation. If Sorani gets it here, 3-game lead while your opponent or while yourself are at a check set point situation. That's kind of nasty. Speaking of nasty, you're gonna get the wall break here. Heavy kind. Lots of resources to defend for Sorani here. YRC does reach at that range. Sometimes there is a maximum amount of distance that YRC can hit. So if your opponent is too far, it's kind of hard-coded to always whiff, which could be a situation against Happy Chaos. Could become relevant. Homing in on the target, on the curse. We are out of bullets here. Sorani is definitely, gets to charge only one, or rather had the... Didn't want to risk reloading more than one bullet. But now Tiger has to make that one bullet count for something. What are we gonna use it on? We're gonna use it to make the 5D safe and then play another 5D. Get the full clip here. That's brilliant plays. That's how high-level players get out of sticky situations. They know they have one shot. They know when to take it. But now speaking of one shot, Sorani here with 0 health to spend. Oh, Tiger just not believing in the mix of jumping out of it. Left, right, what's it gonna be? Sorani has so much meter. Bad moon, or good moon perhaps. We're gonna break the wall and that's gonna take this, not the set, but the round. That was a set of really good plays from both players there. Tiger from getting out of that sticky situation where they basically had no resources to spend, and then Sorani to make a basically comeback from Tiger's perfect health situation. The reticle finding its mark once again. The curse, very important resource, or rather state for Happy Chaos. Get resources here, and since Sorani is already was already fairly close to full burst, it's not a big thing to just play the wall slam situation and keep charging your resources, and now has to attempt it. She had to try to go for it, for the next hit would have probably led into a super, and like we said, sometimes, or perhaps every single time, you just don't want to be the Garfield. You just don't. It's kind of awkward to be the Garfield. But now, Tiger getting that ever so important point, closing in on Sorani's 5 points. Not letting the Milia player run away with the lead. Immediate burst knows the potential, the offensive, the explosive potential of those hits from Happy Chaos, as we all do. Into the low, good defense from Tiger. But eventually you're gonna have to try to commit somehow to make it all stop. Oh, she didn't actually go. Oh, I thought that was a cross-up, but she manifested herself in front of Tiger there and got the close slash. Oh, the S disc, FRC, but now we have an initiative. Sorani tries to flip the situation. All right, just go for a quick jab. That's what we call in the industry the jab that had an infinite reward. I get a couple of taps, but deemed that he was too. Oh my God, the gun's actually missing even on a cursed target. I guess that's how fast Milia is. Trying to shimmy. Sorani still not biting. I bet that shimmy the other round is still in the back of Sorani's head. Not wanting to take the throw prematurely. Nice air-to-air jumpy, goes into the gun, and this time not gonna drop it. Barely gets the gun cancelled into the super. No, but it was actually too late. I thought it looked like that. Tiger still with a very decent amount of life left. Finds the 2K, yeah, and it's too big of a commitment for Sorani to try to burst here. So smart on Sorani for holding it for the last round. Get the curse ball. And now Sorani is still in a pretty good position, getting point blank with Tiger before he gets to use any of that curse. Scapegoat is in the front, so very hard to assault that fort. Get the cross-up shot. 4 bullets. Looking pretty good. Not too bad for Sorani either, though. Good defense on the cross-ups. Trying to find some sort of a hit. Any normal on block would be good for Tiger. There it is, 2K. Is what started it. The backdash makes the reticle whiff. Shot in the dark and nobody's home. And no, Sorani forcing the jump in mix-up. There we go, the Justice Scoop out of the sky. Starting the mix-up situation, finds a hit and slams it home. Brings it 5 even once again. Crisis is averted. Has been averted for Tiger Pop.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
And now we're heading into the championship rounds as we predicted. These guys know each other so well. So however, like what would be the more likely way for the script to unfold other than just being 5-5 at the very end? Yeah, just a calm little scoop, FRC combo, but followed it up with a heart bait, I imagine. That time Sorani was not ready to bite. Sorani going for the backdash shimmies as well. Both players swinging, a lot of misses. And again, that position where Sorani just can't, on good conscience, go for a burst anymore.
Chaos wins. Duel 2.
Reticle footsies? Yeah. I get the throw. Set it up again. Oh no, just disengages from the situation. I wonder if that was a gold burst bait? Yeah, we can always make the 5D safe as long as we have shots. Just barely whiffing with that normal. Sorani, the FRC gets defended properly, and again! The go-to counterplay against those, jump cancel left, rights, capels, all of that has been the extremely clean air throw game from Tiger Pop. It makes you really think, view, whatchamacallit, the yearning of the past for OG Guilty Gear players where air throws just were basically everything, the basis of the anti-airing game. And Strive having still pretty strong air throws, but air throws not being quite as prevalent as they were in the past. Seeing stuff like that just warms my old little Guilty Gear gamer heart. Oh, nice mix-up there. However, Sorani was not quite yet ready to get KO'd out of that round. The RC, yep, yeah, it's gonna be a shot. And from that 2-game lead situation from Sorani, swings the momentum in Tiger's side, and now Tiger is who actually arrives to the 6 points first. In potential face of defeat, never give up. Fight your way
Duel 1. Let's rock.
to the top again until the moderately obese lady sings, as they say. Good defense, using as much. From what direction? It was on a Sorani was on a cross-off course there, and Tiger swung with, was that far slash? Oh, is this gonna catch? The FRC trick, yes indeed, but it's gonna go into the wrong direction, so not the best setup here for Sorani. Get the throw though. It's looking much more better now. Hard bait. Tiger is not quite ready to burst. Could still... There were still some universes where Tiger goes for a burst there, because considering how much burst they had, or rather tension they had ready to spend. But again, that would have been a very rash play, very daring play, very risky play. And I guess, you know, high-level players, generally the way they play is taking advantage of the fact that you're trying to, you know, reduce your risk as much as possible. Because it's a matter of the fact, even high-level players do make wrong reach, do make mistakes, do make bad calls. So try to avoid the amount of risks you take! The good burst bait here for Tiger! Dropped the combo though initially. Completely out of bullets. Had to spend the whole wall slump in reloading the gun. If he did have the 50 meter, could have unleashed the Deus Ex Machina instead to get the full clip. But that time just deemed that it's something you had to do. You can't break the wall without an empty gun, right? That would just spell your doom. And now Tiger on their first set point. Get a cross-up shot. Ooh! Sorani not believing on any of that. Get a throw in the corner. 50 burst available. Not too many tools available for Tiger here to swing a miss. Big, or not, to swing a hit rather. Sorani deems it's time for the wires. He goes for a quick little backdash shimmy. Tiger, of course, not biting. Immediate burst. Doesn't want to get knocked out of this set. As you might imagine, here comes Sorani. The last chance. We have to kill the Tiger. We have to put the Tiger down now. Oh, that's probably going to do it. That's going to build the meter back for Tiger. And unfortunately, the burst does not vacuum Sorani into the corner. But it does not end up mattering. Tiger finds the hit. And with the massive... what do you call it? the combo potential and the explosive potential from this character when you have the resources is gonna guarantee that combo is gonna lead into 7 points, and Tiger Pop is your champion today for this set. But man, that was that is something. That is what super high level Guilty Gear looks like. It's always so beautiful as well, because you don't really have a lot of, or we don't really have a lot of other Melia players, like super prominent Melia players in the region. We have a couple, but like it's definitely one of those on the low side of things character. So it's always really nice to watch Sorani play whenever possible. And, you know, of course, Happy Chaos, even though we've seen Happy Chaos for the last 2 years a lot, how many times do you get to see like super high level Happy Chaos play, unless it's like Tiger Pop? Those, you know, opportunities are generally far and wide between as well. Despite whatever you might think, I know what you're saying is like, damn, Happy Chaos again. I've been seeing this shit since I was born. But hey, you have to recognize when it's the best in the world. It tastes so much better, let me tell you that much. All right, well, that was the week. We had a couple of unfortunate skips that we had to make, but nevertheless, all the matches that we were able to play were super hot. And as per usual, we of course do this every single week. As you know, maybe the running number on the Bounty Hunters episode will tell you something. We don't generally miss a week. Every Sunday, 5 p.m. CET. If you want to join on the fun, you could join in my Discord. That's the easiest way to keep in touch with all the players and get the sign-up forms and whatnot. Also, my command doesn't work anymore, huh? Oh well. I'm sure you find your way in there if you really want to play. Oh, there it is. Anyway, let's see if we have any potential streamers of the game Guilty Gear Strive on the website twitch.tv. It would be worth rating at this point. Of course, we have the DACH community doing the exhibition matches again. I guess that's where we're gonna be heading. Yeah, thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Thank you, players, for playing. It's always a blast, no matter who is playing. The reason why I do this stuff is because, you know, I love watching. Well, first of all, I love playing the game, but I love watching the game almost as much. And commentating your guys' games is, it's basically my dream job of sorts. If, well, I mean, it's hobby, but you get the idea. Anyway, next Sunday again, 5 p.m. CET. Till then, stay safe, keep playing Guilty Gear, and bye-bye.